NCUA employees receive health insurance coverage under the Federal Employee Health Benefit, or FEHB. The program is administered by the Office of Personnel Management, or OPM, and provides many options, including fee-for-service with PPO, Health Maintenance Organization, HMO, point of service, consumer-driven plans, high-deductible health plans. Participation is voluntary. There are no pre-existing condition limitations, even if you change plans and you choose between the self-only and the self and family plan. Also, no advanced physicals are needed.
As a new employee, you would enroll on a standard form 2809, and once you're on board, you can enroll on Employee Express. That is our automated system.
This form can be obtained from the OHR office, your Division of Management Services, or through this website.
The cost for health insurance depends on the plan that you enroll in. And overall, the federal government, their average that they say they pay towards the premiums for health insurance is about 70%. And then the employee has a share, and it depends on the plan in which you select. And in addition to that, the National Credit Union will contribute $50 a pay period towards your premium. Your premiums are paid by payroll deduction, and they are pre-tax, which means you make your premium payment prior to your salary being taxed. FEHB is Federal Employees Health Benefits, and they have a guide that's available that lists all nationwide and local health plans. It lists the premiums so that you will know what plans are available in your area and how much they cost. And if you're interested in additional information on a particular plan, you would go to the OPM website and you can click on that plan. As a new employee, you have 60 days to enroll. And one thing that new employees need to be aware of is your health insurance does not begin immediately. It begins the first of the pay period after you submit your enrollment form.
Each year, you can enroll or change your health plan during open season, usually from mid-November through mid-December. Check out the OPM website for more information. Refer to the NCUA Employee Handbook, the OHR site on NCUA Central, Article 9 of the Collective Bargaining Agreement, or Chapter 14 of the NCUA Personnel Manual. The Federal Employees Dental and Vision Insurance Program, FEDVIP, is available to NCUA employees and their eligible family members on an enrollee pay-all basis. This program is purchased on a group basis, which means competitive premiums and no pre-existing condition limitations. However, there are waiting periods in the plans.
Dental and vision plans, they vary depending on what area that you live in. So you would have to go into the Dental and Vision site, insert your zip code, and that way they can pull up what plans are available to you and let you know how much those particular plans cost. The National Credit Union provides $25 a pay period towards your cost of your dental plan. There are some plans for orthodontic care. The problem with those are sometimes they require waiting periods. So you will want to take a thorough look at the plan before you decide to enroll in it and determine how quickly you need to get that orthodontic care.
Detailed guidance on dental and vision plans can be found at this website, or for more information, refer to the NCUA Employee Handbook, Article 9 of the Collective Bargaining Agreement, or Chapter 14 of the NCUA Personnel Manual. The Federal Flexible Spending Account Program, also known as FSA Feds, lets you set aside pre-tax money to pay for health and dependent care expenses. The result can be a discount of 20% to more than 40% on services you routinely pay as out-of-pocket expenses. There are two types of accounts, including Healthcare Flexible Spending Account, or HCFSA, Dependent Care Flexible Spending Account, DCFSA. The amounts are subject to change. Refer to FSA Feds for the current dollar amounts.
I think one of the most important things that you have to factor in selecting this benefit is how much do you anticipate using for either the dependent care feature or the health care feature. You must be very careful when you decide to participate in a flexible spending account program. You have to ensure that the money that you elect to set aside on a pre-tax basis is something that you will be using throughout the year. Otherwise, you would lose that benefit.
There is a 15-month period to use the funds, which ends on March 15th of the following year. You lose your benefits after this date. The dollar amounts are subject to change. Go to FSA Feds for the current dollar amounts. The OPM FEHB and FSA Feds websites provide more information and will help you estimate your contribution. Refer to the NCUA Employee Handbook or go to the OHR site on NCUA Central. The Federal Long-Term Care Insurance Program, or FLT-CIP, provides long-term care insurance for federal employees and their parents, parents-in-law, step-parents, spouses, and adult children. Long-term care is care that you need if you can no longer perform everyday tasks by yourself due to a chronic illness, injury, disability, or the aging process, or you have a severe cognitive impairment. If you are a new federal employee, you can apply for long-term care insurance even if you do not enroll in the FEHB program. However, the FEHB does not cover the cost.
As a new employee, you have 60 days to enroll, and you will have to go under a brief underwriting period within that 60-day period. If you wait outside the 60-day period, it would be a more extensive underwriting that you have to go through. Long-term care covers you and your immediate family members as well as your in-laws. So if you would like to enroll for any of those people, you go directly to the Federal Long-Term Care Insurance Program and provide them the information, and they will work directly with you to have the enrollment done. If you had a pre-existing condition or some other issues going on, it would be better to enroll within the first 60 days because you have the brief underwriting that you wouldn't have to provide all the information or do a physical that you would in the future.
You may have to be interviewed by a nurse and provide access to your medical records.
There is no open season for that plan. It is available every day, but the best time to apply would be within your first 60 days.
For more information, go to the LTC Feds website, refer to the NCUA Employee Handbook, or go to the OHR site on NCUA Central. Participating in the Federal Employees Group Life Insurance, or FEGLI, program is an option if you are a full-time NCUA employee. While almost everyone needs life insurance, how much is for you to decide. You are automatically enrolled in the basic option and need to opt out if you are declining this benefit.
The Federal Employees Group Life Insurance is a term life policy, which means it has no paid-up value, so you can't cash the policy out. It's only available to you or to your survivors at your death. There are 3 other options available to you under the life insurance program. The first would be option A. Option A is $10,000 worth of additional coverage. The one good thing about federal life insurance is its payroll deduction. So you would be enrolled for basic automatically, and you have to have basic in order to elect any of the options. So you would have option A, which is $10,000 worth of coverage, option B, which can be from 1 to 5 times your salary. And then option C would be cover your family members, which would be your spouse and your children, from 1 to 5 times. So it would cover $5,000 for each multiple for your spouse and $2,500 for each multiple for your children. If you decide that you are not interested in life insurance, you would need to complete a waiver. And if you waive life insurance, you cannot then re-enroll in life insurance unless you wait 1 year and take a physical.
For more information, go to the LTC Fed's website, the NCUA Employee Handbook, the OHR site on NCUA Central, or Chapter 15 of the NCUA Personnel Manual. In order to designate beneficiaries for the policies you opt to take, there are forms to complete that need to be on file. Life insurance, or FEGLI, unpaid salary, thrift savings plan funds, retirement lump sum, and 401k.
As a new employee, you will want to take a look at designating your beneficiaries in the event that something happens to you. So we have forms for each benefit that you would need to complete. So you would have to complete a form for your retirement plan, one for your unpaid compensation, one for your life insurance if you have life insurance, and then one for your thrift savings plan or 401k. And if you do not have these insurances, of course, you would not complete the form. And if you decide not to complete a form, then your benefits are paid out according to the normal order of precedence. And that would be to your spouse. And if you do not have a spouse, it would go to your children. If there's no children, it goes to your parents. No parents, it goes to your estate, and then finally to your next of kin. It may be important for you to go ahead and designate your spouse if you plan to designate a spouse as your beneficiary. If you divorce the person though and you remarry, you would have to make sure that you redo the designation. Otherwise, your ex-spouse is entitled to your benefits.
For more information, refer to the NCUA Employee Handbook or go to the OHR site. The federal government offers a retirement program that helps provide financial security for you and your family. All federal employees are covered by one of 3 federal retirement systems. The Federal Employees Retirement System, or FERS. Almost all new employees hired on or after December 31st, 1983 are automatically covered by FERS. The Civil Service Retirement System, CSRS, most employees hired before 1984 are covered by CSRS. The Civil Service Retirement Offset System, Offset covers employees rehired or transferred to NCUA who have 5 or more years of civilian service before January 1st, 1987. Their CSRS contributions are offset by the amount of Social Security taxes paid.
If you leave the federal government before retirement age, You can either, if you have 5 or more years of service, you can leave your money in and you can pick up a deferred annuity when you reach the proper age, or you can withdraw your money and reinvest it. In the federal retirement system, you're vested when you have at least 5 years, because at that point, when if you leave and you go somewhere else and you decide you want to leave your money in the system, you can pick up a deferred annuity at age 62. The FERS retirement system has 3 tiers. One would be the basic benefit, the other would be Social Security, and the third would be the Thrift Savings Plan. The civil service retirement system has 1 basic benefit. Both systems, you are able to receive a retirement annuity from the Office of Personnel Management. In 2013, the FERS plan has been revised. That's the Federal Employees Retirement System. And the only revision to this plan is that the employee pays a little more of the share.
This new plan applies to employees hired or rehired in 2013, not current employees. For more information, visit this website or refer to the NCUA Employee Handbook or go to the OHR site. The Thrift Savings Plan, or TSP, is a tax-deferred savings and investment. It lets you save part of your income for retirement, receive matching contributions from NCUA if you are covered by FERS, and reduce your current taxes. TSP is a major component of your retirement. The best way to ensure that your retirement income meets your needs is to start investing in the TSP at the beginning of your federal service, and to continue to do so throughout your career.
As a new employee, you're automatically enrolled into the TSP at a 3% contributions. You do have the option of waiving that benefit. However, you are automatically enrolled. With TSP, if you are a new federal employee, one of the things that you wish to take advantage of is the agency matching contributions. As a new employee under FERS, for Federal Employee Retirement System, the agency will match for the first 3% dollar for dollar, and then on percentages 4 through 5, 50 cents on the dollar. So in essence, you receive 5% agency matching contributions if you contribute 5%. I encourage you to participate in the TSP to the fullest level as you can afford. This is part of your retirement system, overall retirement system, which includes Social Security, the TSP, and your personal savings. And as you're entering your career at a younger age, consider the compound interest that you're earning on investment benefits.
Refer to the TSP website for the current contribution limits. For more information, refer to the NCUA Employee Handbook, the OHR site on NCUA Central, or Chapter 11 of the NCUA Personnel Manual. NCUA offers a voluntary 401k plan contributing 3% of your combined national pay rate, or NPR, and locality rate percentage, or LOC percent.
As a new employee with NCUA, we offer an additional benefit. That is the NCUA Savings Plan. The agency will contribute into your account 3% non-elective deferral. That means that the agency will contribute 3% of your compensation. So say, for example, you make $100,000. The agency will match or contribute 3%, which is a total of $3,000 per year, just for being an employee. If you reach the IRS limit, we do have checks and balances in place that will stop. Our payroll system will monitor that. We have people that can monitor your account to make sure that you do not go over.
See the Wells Fargo website for details, or refer to the NCUA Employee Handbook, or go to the OHR site on NCUA Central, Article 9 of the Collective Bargaining Agreement. A confidential employee assistance program, or EAP, is offered by NCUA, partnering with Federal Occupational Health, or FOH, for the many challenges that may arise in your day-to-day life. EAP service is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to help with crisis, addictions, relationship issues, legal concerns, financial concerns. You can use this benefit for any personal and work-related situation. NCUA has used this service to dispatch counselors in times of natural disasters, such as Hurricane Irene.
It is a free confidential service that's available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it is confidential, which means that you do not have to notify anyone that you are using the service. You're entitled to 6 free visits, which means you get 1 hour of administrative time for each visit. So at that time, you would have to let someone know in order to take the administrative time. The Employee Assistance Program offers counseling. You would contact them and they would put you in touch with a counselor that is in your area that could handle the issues that you may have. They cover such things as financial problems, stress, and things of that nature. We had an employee who had some really stressful concerns. He had lost a family member, so the Employee Assistance Program was able to help him through that crisis situation and become a more productive employee again.
To make a confidential EAP appointment, call 1-800-222-0364. You can also access EAP services on the web at this address. For more information, refer to the NCUA Employee Handbook, the OHR site on NCUA Central, Article 34 of the Collective Bargaining Agreement, or Chapter 12 of the NCUA Personnel Manual. Mass transit is encouraged, and the Transportation Subsidy Program is a program of financial incentives designed for that purpose.
The agency has partnered with Department of Transportation's TransServe division to administer the Transit Subsidy Program. Enrolled participants will either receive a Smart Trip card or a TransServe debit card, and on that card will be their transit subsidy, monthly subsidy, loaded electronically each month once they're enrolled. The subsidy is going to be limited to the maximum statutory limit, which is set by IRS each year. Employees are required to take the integrity awareness training prior to enrolling in the program. Once they complete the training, they may submit their online enrollment application to their supervisor for approval. Both the integrity awareness training and the online application can be found on OCFO's travel site on NCUA Central.
Refer to the NCUA Employee Handbook, NCUA Central's OCFO site, and at transerve.dot.gov to enroll. NCUA's Health Examination Program offers a physical exam and skin screening to employees who have been with the agency for 1 year and are age 35 and older. If you're 40 or older, NCUA also reimburses employees for having a colonoscopy.
For the health examination program, you have the choice of using your own personal physician or the agency's contract provider. The health examination program will reimburse you for any portion that your health insurance did not cover. For example, your copays, your lab work, or any other cost that you had incurred because of your physical examination. Employees between the ages of 35 to 39 are eligible for a health examination every 3 years. Employees between the ages of 40 to 49 are eligible every 2 years. Employees 50 and over are eligible every year. SSP employees are eligible every year, regardless of age.
Refer to the NCUA Employee Handbook or go to the OHR site. When applying for a mortgage or loan for reference checks, leasing an apartment, or any other instance where proof of employment is needed, NCUA helps you provide quick and easy answers. The General Services Administration, National Payroll Branch, NPB, contracts with the TALX Corporation for employment and income verification services through the Work Number. Employment and income can be verified in a matter of minutes with a single phone call or through website access.
TALX validates the ID of all users, and then they also make sure that they have a permissible purpose for getting into their site. Everyone has to have a user ID and a PIN, and those are established by the GSA payroll because they're our payroll provider. If you want a mortgage company to check out your information, you would provide them with your Social Security number and the company code for our agency. They would give that to TALX, and TALX would verify to make sure that company is a legitimate company, and they have the right to ask those questions, and then they give them the information that's provided so that they can access it. You would have to request to not have your information sent through GSA payroll, and then they will not send your information to TALX to be put out there. But if anyone ever wanted to request an employment verification on you, then they wouldn't have a way to do that because this is the only way that it's done. They no longer provide the information by paper.
For more information, there's a TALX Client Relation Management team member who will answer your questions. Or go to this website, or you can contact the GSA OCFO National Payroll Branch Customer Service representatives at 1-816-823-3900 or 1-800-676-3690, extension 33900, or via email at this address.